Richard Bunting, our Northeast Chairman for Conservatives. And we want to congratulate you because he's been our deputy for 3 years. Now he's the chairman taking from Hoka now. Hoka now is the leader of Conservatives in Redbridge. I also want to thank our previous candidate, Mina Rahman. She did brilliant in 2014, 2015. She was our constituency candidate and she ran a very, very good campaign. I also want to thank More and Samuel, MBE, for coming. More Samuel, she's the chair for Northeast Conservative Women Organization. And all her team is here. Campaign, Sophia.
There's a few couldn't make it.
And yeah, few couldn't make it tonight. And I want to thank our friends, good friends, who traveled all the way from South London, North London, Mr. Ashraf Mahmood, Gentas.
Vice Chairman, yes, don't sound like it. You forget.
And to welcome our new members, we have new members here who just joined Conservative Party. Dean,
Kirsty.
And
Thanks for having me.
I can see a lot of faces who traveled all the way, like Mr. Ahmed, my sister Twila, and a colleague. Thank you so much for coming. Our team from Western, thank you so much for coming. And, our members from Bunting, Charles and Mubarak. Like, Mubarak is why I paused because, we're about to go into Holy Ramadan, and Eid Mubarak will soon come up. So that's why I was trying to get the right word. So thank you so much for coming, everybody. Our committee, Bunting Conservative Executive Committee, Tamkin Sheikh is our deputy political. Yonis Champoma. Yes, is our secretary, and Nazul is our deputy finance, and that is the team. And we miss few people who are coming. Mr. Mahmoud, they are coming from South London, but today they are doing a candidate selection interviews. They're gonna run late, but they are coming. Apart from that, what we are doing in Bunting, we have managed to have to select our ward leaders halfway. We have leaders for Gascoigne, we have leaders for Longbridge, we have leaders for Abbey wards, and those leaders, they are the one responsible for recruiting in their wards so that we can win in the next upcoming elections. And we really need to build membership. That is very important. That is what we are focusing now. And Andrew Boff, he should be here with us, but he's in France. He sent his apologies, and he's working so hard with the rest of the team to build a survey whereby we're going to send out a survey to kickstart our campaign in Bunting. And we're also going to work hand in hand with Dagenham because we need that. We need to join hands if we want to do something constructive or to win at least 2 or 3 seats in Bunting and Dagenham. We need to work together, and that's what we are going to be doing. We're going to have our AGM on 20th of May, because we normally have our AGMs in June, but this time we are going to have it on May 20th because Holy month is coming, Ramadan, whereby we have a lot of members who are Muslims who cannot come during Ramadan. So we pushed it before Ramadan so that we can have our AGM. And in June after Ramadan, we're going to have a big event, and we expect to invite Priti Patel. We invited her already last year. She didn't come, and she said she's going to come this year. She's already aware, so we're going to write her to inform her that we are having our event in June or July. And we expect big turn up because on that day at least we're going to have another one or two MPs to come along, and other big names in the party like Richard Bunting and other big names, so that we can start building strong team back. We really need to make our voice heard in Bunting if we want to make a difference. And today is very, this is the starting point, and I'm so grateful that we have a big turnout. As we wait for something to eat, I think we're going to have about 3 people to speak. Molly Samuel will give us a word or two, and our previous candidate, Honorable Rahman, and Richard Bunting, our chairman Northeast, before our chief guest can say something. Thank you very much.
Okay, first of all, may I say it's a pleasure to be here. In fact, karate for me started across the road in Bunting. That's where I started, it's where I met my husband. So it is quite an honour to be here again and looking around and see the changes. As most of you know, you see Molly, you see Richard. And throughout the campaign, it was brilliant coming to Barking. A lot of people think, oh, Barking, but I think they're wrong. I think that the party needs to get people in this area, campaign ahead of time. I think you'll find that Barking was very conservative. It was a conservative area before. So we need to get members. We need to get people to join and then come out there and campaign, and I will be there as well because I believe that there is a room for an MP. In terms of people that I've come to know and become extremely close, first I'll say councillor. He's a councillor in school, and his sister, but most of all his mother. We're doing a lot of work together. She's a very, professional woman. She's a journalist. And we're doing a hell of a lot together, and we will be doing a lot more, especially in the new venture that I'm involved in, which has a lot of influential people, which is United Against Homelessness. It's going to be a time you'll see. It's going to be a big one. It's very much where my passion is, where my heart. There's not very much I can say. Met the 2 members again. We were at another function, wasn't it? I think it was Romford. Yeah, after Christmas. That's it. So as I say, there isn't also a better chairman in my opinion than Richard Semitego. He's 100%. It's the party 200%. He's everywhere. That's lovely to see because in my heart that's how I feel. Like so many members here. And last but not least, it's a pleasure to listen to this lady today, somebody who I admire and I learned a lot from. And again, congratulations to Richard, who I know really well, who I'm sure will make an excellent chairman. Sometimes you have to wait in the wings before you get your opportunity to take it. Okay? Thank you for listening.
I just wanted to add one thing. I forgot to mention this. Theresa May, our Prime Minister, excellent Prime Minister right now, she stood in Barking as parliamentary candidate in 1993. So Barking is got a big name. Everybody who has ever stood here, he went on to be someone big in the country and someone big in our party, Conservative Party. So one day, Mina Rahman, she will fall And everybody here who is in position and is embarking, just know that one day you'll make it that big tower. And I think Theresa May, everybody can believe that she's one of the best prime ministers.
Can I just say something? Mina, you should stand here on the face. Mina and I are parliamentary candidates, and I've known Mina from when I very first started. We go up London and all over the place, so please forgive me. I didn't forget you, you're just so beautiful. I just was looking everywhere else. So, she's been a brilliant candidate, the same, I would say, as Richard. Very, very passionate about conservatives, being a conservative, and I wish you all the best for getting a seat. Sorry.
I'll just quickly, the food is here, so I'll just quickly say a few words. Again, thank you everybody for being here today, and it's a wonderful pleasure coming back to Bunting, and it's been a great opportunity for me. When I was a candidate in Bunting, it was my first seat which I contested, and it was absolutely brilliant because we had, as a campaign coordinator, I made sure there were all the foods. I had 33 candidates nominated, and I remember working with Richard, both Richards, Eunice, Tajubay over there, Tantin, and Mubarak, who actually, and all of you who supported me, and I'm very, very grateful because without your help I wouldn't have got the votes that I did get. And me and Molly went a long way as candidates. She stood in Walthamstow, and again it was a hard seat to contest. And Hannah stood in Harrow, and again it was a margin. And my good friend, and we've been friends for quite a number of years now, haven't we? And Hannah's working so hard with the policy reform, which I'm looking forward to hearing about today. And as a policy officer for London Women, I want to get more women involved in the policy. So if you are interested, please do contact me. I've got you can take my email address, but I want to make a difference. So getting all sorts of women involved in the policies that we make, the Conservative Party make, because without your feedback, we can't make the changes that suit us all. And with a diverse community, and with an ageing population and different issues in the society, we need to tackle those. And it's so important that as the Conservative Party, we hear your voice and you contribute into that decision-making process. It's very, very important. The food is here, so I won't keep you long. I'd like to wish Hannah and Molly and myself good luck for the next 2020. I know it will be we're all back on the list. So obviously it will be very hard to get a winnable seat, but again, with all your support, hopefully we will achieve something. And I'd like to wish all the candidates for the local election next year in Barking good luck. And I think if you can win a council seat here, then at least there will be more hope to win an MP. And it's been, we did have a Conservative councillor in Longbridge Ward, but again, people have changed, the dynamic, the demographic, everything has changed, and we need to get that voice. And I think what you're doing with the homeless people is absolutely fabulous and wonderful. If you keep making your name in the newspaper regularly with all the issues that is in Barking, I'm sure we will achieve a councillor hopefully next year. So good luck, and I'll be here to support you all. So thank you very much.
Theresa May coming the last election.
Oh yes, and Theresa. So that's my husband. He's just reminding me,
Yes.
and I was going to say that. Yes, Theresa May did come to support my campaign, and I'm very grateful to Theresa May. And I think as the Prime Minister, she's doing an excellent job. And every time I meet her, she's always supporting and encouraging me. And I think as a female, we're the only party that's had the second female Prime Minister, and we've had more ethnic minority MPs. So I think we're grateful, and I think she's doing a good job. And I know with Brexit at the moment it's difficult, but that's what the people wanted, and she's trying to make the most of what people have voted for. So, and I am also grateful to Theresa May for coming and supporting my campaign, because she didn't have to come to Barking, but she did. And she also said maybe one day I'll be something where she was, So that's a good encouragement. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
add a change to the Prime Minister and the party and the direction of the country, and hopefully 2018 will be able to achieve great results in the election. I just wanted to say thanks for everything you do. Keep on doing it, because it's a good thing to do and be part of the party and see so many good faces and familiar friends. Okay, thanks very much. Thank you.
Now we are going to hear from our chief guest, Hannah David, Director for Conservative Party Forum.
Yeah.
After such a build-up, I'm not going to let you down, but thank you very much. And it is really a pleasure to be invited here today. I rarely get invited out for dinner for a CPF event, but it's also particularly nice to be here because it's great to see so many interested women and young people at a CPF event. That is exactly what I'm trying to achieve with the CPF, to broaden it out. And I would like to welcome our two youngest members here, who are proudly wearing our I'm also delighted to say that my journey here was uneventful. And before I go on to the main part of my speech, I'm going to tell you why that is significant for me. I seem to have a very bad track record of my journeys to CPF events. One example, last year I was going to a CPF in Birmingham, and I got on the train in London and I received a call from one of my colleagues at work. And he was calling to tell me that an event that I had arranged for the following week with the Mayor of London would need to be cancelled because our Mayor of London now couldn't make it. And I had 300 people coming to an event 1 week later. I then carried on the conversation by saying, well, Mr. Khan is going to let the whole of London down, just how he's let us down, and how disappointed I was, and how this was terrible, and it will be reflected in the way that the mayoralty is run. And then I put the phone down, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around and I thought, I know who this person is. And he said to me, I just wanted to stop you before you made your next phone call. My name is Tom Watson, and I'm Deputy Leader of the Labour Party. At which point there's a moral lesson there, in other words, don't have conversations on a train. So I'm delighted to say nothing like that happened on my journey here today. Just to tell you a little bit about who I am and who you're dealing with here. I'm a solicitor. I currently run a think tank looking at planning and housing issues within the UK. I was a local town and borough councillor. I was a parliamentary candidate at the last general election, 2015 in Harrow West. And I am now the first elected national director of the party's policy forum. And as has been said, how much of time has changed in the last year in British politics. We began 2016 in Europe with David Cameron as our Prime Minister. We began 2017 coming out of Europe with Theresa May as our Prime Minister. And the government is continuing with its social reforms to build a country, as Theresa May has said, that works for everyone, and to help everyone and people who have been left behind by Whitehall and by Westminster politics. So these are very important times, obviously, for the Conservative Party and for the government. And as the Prime Minister wrote recently for the Conservative Policy Forum, she actually said the CPF plays a key role in ensuring that party members have the opportunity to help shape government policy. We need to make the most of all the talent that exists within our party.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to talk to you briefly about 3 aspects of the Policy Forum. I'm going to tell you how it works, where the CPF is now, and the CPF moving forward. I'm only going to talk for up to about 10 minutes, because you'll probably want to kill yourselves if I spoke for any longer than that. So I'm happy for you just to question me on any of it. If you want to send me an email afterwards, you can find my details on the CPF website, or I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. I can't escape, so you can always find me. So let's just talk about the structure of the CPF. The chairman of the CPF is George Freeman, and he is chairman currently of the Prime Minister's Policy Board. And that's very important and significant for the CPF, because that means anything that we discuss as an organisation goes directly into number 10. Another part of the CPF structure is I'm obviously the National Voluntary Director. We have a Vice Chairman who sits on the Conservative Party's board. We have a Treasurer who tries to raise money for us, all donations gratefully received, so please feel free to contact us about that. And we are currently run under the Conservative Research Department in a central office. In terms of our discussion programme, for those of you who don't know, we are aiming to publish 5 national discussion papers this year. There are new topics for discussions being sent out in May, September and November. We've currently collated and summarised responses from our previous paper from 114 groups, and that was on the cost of living. I don't know whether you've discussed that paper, but it was various issues under that heading. And at the moment we're waiting for a ministerial reply from number 10. Our current national discussion paper, which we have out, is on adult social care, and responses to that paper need to be in by the 7th of May. And our next paper will be skills and training for the 21st century. But one of the most important things, and one of the things that I feel is most important about the Policy Forum, is that as it's a voluntary organisation, it needs to be member-led. This is our organisation. We need to be discussing issues that are relevant to us as volunteers and as ordinary members of the party. So I want to encourage you to meet in the intervening periods between the national discussion programme to discuss local issues. This should be your forum to speak to your elected members, your local councillors, about issues that affect you in your areas. It's a very good use of time and it keeps momentum going for your local policy forum. I also would like for you to forward your own ideas about what the policy forum should be discussing to us. You can do this in 2 ways, by emailing me or the CPF, but also through something we have called a micro-policy initiative, which is an initiative where you can suggest a national policy issue that you think we ought to be discussing. Interesting one I had recently was about whether we should change the clocks or not. And actually, it's quite a big debate because it affects things to do with farming, etc., etc. So it's actually a very interesting topic. But it really is open to you as members, and I would really encourage you to do it. Now, the whole point of the CPF is that us as a voluntary party influence our party policy. Okay, so how are we going to do that, or how do I seek to make sure that we do that? One thing you have to remember is that the Policy Forum is the vital link between us as the voluntary party and our elected members. It is what makes us as Conservative Party activists feel part of a wider movement, and it is through the Policy Forum that we can and we should be developing our ideas as a party. Our mission is to develop and advance Conservative ideas and policies within the party and within government. Last year, for those of you who were involved, the CPF published one discussion paper which was on the subject of housing, obviously a very big issue. But due to the unique year, and that's the only word I can think of describing 2016, that we had in British politics, we weren't able to issue more than that one paper. But the reaction to that one paper from government was amazing. We had, just going back a little bit, we had 107 groups who sent in responses to that paper, representing 794 members from 119 constituencies. And then we had members from 5 of those groups who participated in a round table with the Community Secretary, Sir Zinda. So that is the level at which our input is now being seen. The Secretary of State actually turned round in his thank you letter to the CPF and said that the ideas in the recent Housing White Paper, which I'm sure you're all aware of, many of them, and I quote, came about as a direct result of the efforts of the Conservative Policy Forum. And he also confirmed that the contributions of the CPF are an invaluable addition to the debate. The dedicated work of the CPF and its members is a real asset to us in government that is greatly appreciated. I look forward to the future contributions the CPF will make. So the point is that this is not a talking shop. This is a real organisation that really influences policy. Another aspect of the CPF is that I think it's extremely important we make the CPF as inclusive and as representative of all our party members. And the ways that I've been doing that recently is that working with university conservative societies to ensure that students are engaged. We've done joint events with the Conservative Councillors Association, the Conservative Women's Organisation, which I'm hoping we're going to do, but we've been in discussions with previously, Conservatives Abroad, Conservative Friends of India, Conservative Health, and the Conservative Disability Forum. So we're trying to make sure that everyone is involved in this conversation. We're also looking shortly to set up a CPF business forum to get businesses involved in the conversation. And we are going to be asking people to lead different groups. They will be CPF champions. So hopefully you will have someone leading women to get more women involved in the policy debate, carers, people who have to look after other people so that their voice is heard. It's all really important, but we need to reach out and make sure everybody's voice is heard. So just to the CPF moving forward, for those of you who are going to the party conference, we are hoping to have 2, maybe 3 events of party conference. We're hoping to hold 2 regional conferences next year. I want to encourage you to hold more events like this excellent event tonight. I wish they were all like this, and that's honestly, I've been around the country for the last year or so, and this is excellent. This is a really good I want to encourage you to do more, and we at Central CPF will help you get speakers. We can request, I can't promise, but we can always request on your behalf, because we are there to facilitate the debate and make it easy for you to input into our debates. And the final point about the CPF is that if we don't win elections, then all our hard work is to some extent wasted. So part of the remit of the CPF is to support candidates in local elections. You have local elections, we all have elections coming up in the next 2 or 3 years. Please ask us, because we will send a CPF team out, or we will do the telephone calling under the CPF umbrella at CCHQ. You just have to ask us. So just to wrap this up, obviously I told you how it works, where the CPF is now, and what's happening in the future. Sajid's comments on the Housing White Paper highlight how, together through the CPF, members of the party are directly influencing party policy. Ministers want our input, they recognise the benefit of hearing our ideas and experiences and the lessons learned by all of us who actually live and work in this country. And the CPF is the voluntary parties organisation that gives ordinary members like you, like me, a voice in our party. So please get involved, have your say, and let's all shape policy together. Thank you.
Can I request that we will have a picture before everyone goes, because we'll put it on our website and everything.
Thank you.
So